to Small World. I'm your host, Sami Huggins, and today I'm joined with Thut to talk about the cultural differences and similarities between the United States and Spain. Annika, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
So you studied abroad in Madrid, Spain.
Yep.
What was the program that you intended and how long were you there for?
I did my study abroad program through ISA Madrid. ISA does a bunch of different cities, but I picked Madrid, and I was there for a month over the summer.
What were some of the challenges you had to face as a student living in a foreign country?
It honestly wasn't that bad, except for the living situation was a little difficult. So I'm just a normal person from Wisconsin, and living in Madrid, you are in like small quarters, so the apartments aren't very big, and then you can either do an on-campus apartment, you can do like you're living by yourself and you're in charge of wherever you live, or you could do through a homestay. So I chose to do a homestay, and I was with an older lady named Norca, and that was interesting. It was very hard because it wasn't something I'm used to. I'm used to families. I wanted a family, but I got an old lady that didn't know how to cook. So that was not very fun. I think that was what kind of made me miss home the most. But I think that was overall the biggest challenge I needed to deal with there.
How old was she?
I would say, we weren't told her exact age, but I would say somewhere between like late 60s to early 70s. So.
Did she like you?
Yes, but I think after, like when we left, I don't think she liked us that much because we kind of complained a lot about her cooking.
Oh.
So, yeah, it was, yeah. I think for the most part she did, but I don't know about now, so we'll see.
Was there anything that surprised you about the Spanish culture that isn't a part of your daily life in the United States?
Yes, so when we went through our orientation program, we were told actually that when we're on the metro, which is how we would get to and from our homestay or our apartment to the school or wherever we needed to meet, that we shouldn't make eye contact with men because that could come off as like sexual.
Oh.
Yeah. So didn't know that. Obviously that's not the case here because it's okay to look at people. But yeah, if you're a young lady and you're on the metro or whatever, you shouldn't make eye contact with men because it could be taken the wrong way. So that was very different.
Yeah, I could see that because generally, like, we actually say, make eye contact because
and
that's a sign of respect that you're listening and everything.
Yeah, and be kind with them and stuff like that. Yeah, so you shouldn't do that over there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In what ways do you think that Spain is similar to the culture in the U.S.?
I feel like from what I'm a part of here, it's very much about family and friends, and they are very big on that over there. Everything you do over there is something that you're going to do with friends. You hang out with friends until like 5 o'clock in the morning on some days. So that's very similar. But other than that, you can try and find small similarities within everything, but it really is a different culture of different countries. So I don't know, you have to search for it and then try and come up with something. But besides that, I would say family and friends, big thing.
What was your favorite part about studying abroad in Spain?
I literally just loved the new culture. Spanish has been part of my life for a very long time. So honestly, just being within that culture was the best part about it.
Well, that was very interesting. As we all know, you cannot look at a man when you're on the metro because that can be seen as sexual. Well, it's time to take a short break, but don't go anywhere because we'll hear more about Annika's adventures when we return.
What does it mean to be a war hawk?
It means allowing myself to dream big and think outside the box.
Pushing the limits of what I think is possible.
Seeing ideas through from start to finish.
Collaborating with professors and peers.
And seizing opportunities in the community to put my knowledge to use.
I'm studying abroad,
learning another language,
and listening to the stories of others.
I'm making lifelong friends and fearlessly sharing my gifts with the world.
As a war hawk, I stay balanced,
take great care of myself,
and get out of my comfort zone.
I refuse to let the past determine my future.
And I'm taking confident steps in the direction of my dreams.
Sometimes it doesn't make sense.
And other times it couldn't be more exciting.
But I will keep my goals in mind
and never quit.
Because
that's the Warhawk way.
says a word.
Media activism may see lower commitment levels. It has global and instantaneous reach.
The message that we can get from this roll of duct tape is that utility really is everything.
At the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, we're passionate about learning. Our talented faculty members blend teaching with research, creating hands-on learning experiences for students. Warhawk Pride thrives at UW-Whitewater, where student athletes excel on the field and in the classroom, where diversity is celebrated. A tradition of excellence 140 years in the making. Find your passion here.
Welcome back to Small World. We're still here with Thut as she shares more about her experience in Spain. Spain is known for its tapas, obviously. So did you get to try some while you were there, and what was that like?
I definitely did. We had a favorite place to go before we went out for a little fun that night. It was a place called El Tigre, and they had €5 drinks and tapas. And so you got a huge plate that had about 4 or 5 different types on it, varied anywhere from like just a simple bread and cheese to like a bread with a certain meat. And they were very delicious. However, the kind of fun thing was we did take a trip up to the northern part of Spain, and those tapas were actually completely different. And it was very interesting to see that whichever part of Spain you're in, the tapas change because they usually stay the same within whatever area you're in then. So yeah, they were delicious though. I love them so much. I wish we had them here.
What was your favorite tapas?
Probably the ones with the bread and cheese. So it's called manchego cheese. And then they had like this, I don't want to say tomato sauce, but kind of like a tomato type sauce that you put on top of it. And those were definitely my favorite. It was so good, so good.
So you would recommend them for anyone who goes to Spain to definitely try the tapas?
Yes, definitely. I don't really think you can get through a trip to Spain without them. So.
What do you miss most about Spain that you can't experience here in the U.S.?
This yogurt place called Yao Yao. They don't have one. The closest one is in Ecuador. So it's just a frozen yogurt place. It is delicious. It's not like a normal frozen yogurt that you would have here. It's actually a little bitter, but it is literally my favorite thing in the whole world. And I'm like, bring Yao Yao to the USA, please.
Yao Yao.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Is there a story behind it, or do you not know?
No, I have no clue, but it's really good.
I just can imagine like, hey, let's go to Yao Yao. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what we did. We were like, let's go get some Yao Yao. I mean, it sounds so dumb, but it's so good.
What was the most rewarding part about living and studying abroad in Spain?
Just being able to experience a whole different culture. That was my first time going to Europe. So being able to just experience that and see how people across ocean live life and how they're really not that different from us was just really great, and I would love to go back. So.
Do you have like any packing tips for people who are going to go study overseas?
Be okay with re-wearing clothes. Like, just be okay with it. You know, bring a good chunk of underwear, but like with shirts and pants, just be okay. Like, everybody's gonna smell. If you're going in the summer, it's hot, so like you're gonna sweat, and honestly, you can shop there if you want. So I would just be like really okay with packing a small amount of things and then just living life.
So like thinking about like the clothes, as you said, you can shop, like how are their prices compared to the US?
Way cheaper.
They're cheaper?
Yeah, so like a pair of Birkenstocks here would be like $100, and over there it was like the equivalent of $50. So yes, so things are way cheaper there. I bought a shirt for like €3 that would here probably be like $15 to $20. So
Is that why, like with the packing tip, you know, kind of pack a little light?
Yeah,
because you're probably going to do a lot of
shop.
shopping.
Yeah, you're going to want to shop. So I would advise just to pack very lightly, be okay with re-wearing things, and then go a little shopping.
Is there any advice you have or any aspect of the Spanish culture that you've adopted into your own life?
I think the only thing that I really changed would be my eating times. Their eating times are a little different. They eat normal breakfast at the time we eat. Their lunch isn't about till like 2 or 3, and then their dinner's not till like 9 to 11 o'clock. So I definitely find myself eating way later in the day than I did before I went to Spain, but I think that's just because I lived for a month like that, and I didn't get to eat at normal times, so yeah.
Well, thank you, Annika, for coming. I'm
Yeah.
glad that you got to share your experience with us
Thank you.
overseas. That's our show today. Thank you for watching, and tune in next time to hear more global stories like Annika's. And remember, even though the planet may seem huge, it's a small world. Safe travels, everyone.